Hello, dear listener, welcome. As the day gently fades, and the world outside begins to quiet its ceaseless hum, let us turn our attention inward, to a realm of profound depth and intricate beauty, the study of the human mind and all its fascinating expressions. Tonight, we will embark on a tranquil journey into the heart of psychology, exploring its vast landscapes, its ancient roots, and its quiet wisdom, all designed to soothe your thoughts as you drift towards restful sleep. Psychology, at its very core, is the scientific study of the mind and behavior. Imagine, if you will, the immense scope of such an endeavor. It is an exploration that seeks to unravel the mysteries held within each of us, a gentle probing into the very essence of what it means to perceive, to feel, to think, and to act. When we speak of the mind, we are touching upon a universe of phenomena, from the brilliant spark of conscious thought, the clear light of awareness that guides our waking hours, to the subtle, often unseen currents of the unconscious, those deep rivers that flow beneath the surface of our awareness, shaping our dreams, our desires, and our deepest fears. Consider for a moment the myriad ways our minds interact with the world. We experience thoughts, those fleeting whispers and grand pronouncements that fill our inner world. We feel emotions, from the soft warmth of contentment to the gentle ache of melancholy, each a profound color in the tapestry of our lives. And we are driven by motives, those inner springs of action that propel us forward, whether towards a simple cup of tea or a lifelong aspiration. All these, the grand and the minute, the overt and the hidden, fall within the embrace of psychology's curious gaze. It is a study not only of our own human intricate dance, but also extends its gentle understanding to the behavior of non-humans, recognizing the shared threads of life across species. This discipline, psychology, is truly immense in its scope. It gracefully crosses boundaries, weaving together insights from both the natural and the social sciences. Picture it as a bridge, connecting the tangible, observable world of biology and physics with the rich, complex realm of human culture, interaction, and meaning. On one side of this bridge, we find biological psychologists, who are captivated by the emergent properties of brains. They delve into the intricate networks of neurons, the subtle chemical dances, and the very architecture of our gray matter, seeking to understand how these physical structures give rise to our thoughts, our feelings, our very sense of self. Here, psychology links intimately with neuroscience, a partnership that seeks to unlock the secrets of consciousness from the level of the synapse to the symphony of the entire brain. On the other side of this bridge, psychologists stand as social scientists. Here, the focus shifts from the internal workings of the individual brain to the intricate dance of human connection. They strive to understand how we behave, not just as isolated beings, but as members of groups, influenced by our cultures, our relationships, and the vast tapestry of society. How do we form bonds? Why do we cooperate, and why do we conflict? What are the subtle and overt forces that shape our collective actions and our individual identities within a social context? This perspective acknowledges that our minds are not formed in isolation, but are profoundly shaped by the shared human experience, by stories passed down through generations, and by the intricate web of our interactions with others. The individuals who dedicate their lives to this profound exploration are known as psychologists. They can be found in various roles, some as professional practitioners, guiding others through life's challenges, and some as dedicated researchers, quietly pushing the boundaries of our understanding. Many are also classified as behavioral or cognitive scientists, terms that highlight specific areas of focus within this vast field. Some psychologists devote their energies to understanding the intricate role of mental functions in individual and social behavior, seeking to illuminate how our internal world manifests in our external actions and interactions. Others peer deeper still, exploring the physiological and neurobiological processes that form the very bedrock of our cognitive functions and behaviors, asking fundamental questions about how our biological machinery gives rise to our complex inner lives. As part of this grand, interdisciplinary endeavor, psychologists are deeply involved in research across an astonishing array of topics. Imagine them meticulously studying perception, how we transform raw sensory data into a meaningful experience of the world. They explore cognition, the intricate processes of thinking, knowing, remembering, and problem-solving. They unravel the mysteries of attention, how we selectively focus our mental energy amidst a constant stream of information. Emotions, those powerful currents that color our existence, are also a profound area of inquiry, as is intelligence, in all its varied forms. They explore subjective experiences, the unique, inner world that belongs solely to each individual, that feeling of what it's like to be you. Motivation, the driving force behind our actions, brain functioning itself, and the multifaceted nature of personality are all subjects of their gentle, persistent investigation. Beyond the individual, psychologists' interests extend outwards, embracing the delicate dynamics of interpersonal relationships, how we connect, how we love, how we grow with others. They delve into the profound strength of psychological resilience, the remarkable human capacity to bounce back from adversity, and the even broader concept of family resilience, the collective strength that sustains groups through challenging times. These areas fall under the warm embrace of social psychology, a field dedicated to understanding how our minds operate within the context of our shared humanity. And of course, they also consider the unconscious mind, that vast, often hidden reservoir of thoughts, memories, and desires that profoundly influences our conscious life, often without our direct awareness. To uncover these deep truths, research psychologists employ empirical methods. They design careful experiments, gather data, and analyze patterns, striving to infer causal and correlational relationships between psychosocial variables. This scientific rigor allows them to move beyond mere speculation, building a robust body of knowledge about the mind and behavior. While many aspects of psychology adhere strictly to empirical, observable data, it's worth noting that some, though not all, clinical and counseling psychologists also rely on symbolic interpretation. This is a gentle art, where meaning is found in dreams, metaphors, and the subtle narratives people construct about their lives, offering another lens through which to understand the human experience, particularly in the context of healing and growth. While psychological knowledge is frequently applied to the assessment and treatment of mental health problems, offering a beacon of hope and practical guidance to those facing distress, its utility extends far beyond this crucial role. Psychology's insights are also directed towards understanding and solving problems in a myriad of spheres of human activity. By many accounts, the ultimate aim of psychology is to benefit society as a whole. It is a discipline deeply committed to human flourishing, to enhancing well-being, and to fostering a more compassionate and understanding world. Many psychologists find themselves in some kind of therapeutic role, practicing psychotherapy in clinical settings, offering counsel in schools, or providing support in various community contexts. They walk alongside individuals on their journeys, helping them to navigate challenges, to understand themselves more deeply, and to cultivate pathways towards healthier, more fulfilling lives. Others dedicate their energies to conducting scientific research on a wide range of topics related to mental processes and behavior, often working within the serene environments of academic settings, universities, medical schools, or hospitals, where they contribute to the ever-expanding tapestry of knowledge. Yet another group of psychologists brings their expertise to industrial and organizational settings, helping businesses thrive by understanding human motivation, team dynamics, and effective leadership. and still others apply their wisdom to areas such as human development and aging, sports psychology, health promotion, forensic science, education, and even the complex world of the media, demonstrating the pervasive and transformative power of understanding the human mind. Now let us turn our gaze to the very origins of the word psychology itself, a journey back in time to appreciate the wisdom embedded in its ancient roots. The word derives from the Greek term psyche, which carries the beautiful meaning of spirit, or soul. Picture for a moment the ancients pondering the animating principle within us, that spark of life, that essence of individuality. This psyche was seen as the very core of being. The latter part of the word, logia, also of Greek origin, simply means study or research. So, at its very inception, psychology was conceived as the study of the soul. This beautiful term, in its Latin form, Psychologia, first graced the pages of a book in the decade between 1510 and 1520, penned by the Croatian humanist and Latinist Marko Marulic. His work, titled Psychologia de ration anime humani, translates to Psychology on the nature of the human soul. Isn't it fascinating to think of such a profound inquiry being undertaken centuries ago? The earliest known reference to the word psychology in English appeared much later, in 1694, within The Physical Dictionary, by Stephen Blanchard. This dictionary beautifully refers to anatomy, which treats the body, and psychology, which treats of the soul. This early distinction highlights the enduring philosophical divide between the material and the immaterial, the physical form and the animating essence, a tension that has continued to inform the discipline. You may have seen the Greek letter psi, represented as psi, often associated with the field of psychology. This elegant symbol is simply the first letter of psyche, a gentle reminder of the ancient lineage and philosophical depth of this modern science. As the understanding of psychology evolved, so too did its formal definitions. In 1890, a towering figure in the field, William James, offered a definition that resonated widely for decades. He described psychology as the science of mental life, both of its phenomena and their conditions. This definition invited a broad exploration of consciousness, introspection, and the subjective experience of being alive. It painted a picture of psychology as a discipline deeply concerned with the inner workings of the mind, with the rich tapestry of thoughts, feelings, and perceptions that constitute our personal reality. This idea of mental life was a profound concept, acknowledging the dynamic, ever-changing nature of our inner world. However, as science progressed, this definition, beautiful as it was, faced challenges. Notably, in 1913, John B. Watson, a proponent of methodological behaviorism, asserted a different vision. He championed psychology as a purely objective experimental branch of natural science, whose theoretical goal was unequivocally the prediction and control of behavior. Watson, and the behaviorist school of thought, argued that if psychology was to be a true science, it must focus only on what could be objectively observed and measured, behavior. The internal, subjective world of mental life, they argued, was inaccessible to scientific inquiry, and thus beyond the scope of a rigorous science. This shift marked a pivotal moment, pushing psychology firmly towards empirical observation and experimentation. The emphasis moved from the invisible, soul, or mental life, to the observable, behavior. Since James's time, the term psychology has indeed come to more strongly implicate scientific experimentation. While the exploration of subjective experience remains vital, especially in clinical practice and certain qualitative research areas, the overarching framework of psychological inquiry is largely rooted in empirical methods, data collection, and rigorous analysis. It's also worth noting the distinction between what we might call folk psychology and the understanding held by psychology professionals. Folk psychology refers to the intuitive, everyday understanding of people's mental states and behaviors that ordinary individuals hold. It's the common sense way we try to make sense of why people do what they do, often relying on anecdotes, personal experience, and cultural narratives. While valuable for navigating daily life, this intuitive understanding can sometimes differ significantly from the nuanced, evidence-based insights derived from professional psychological research and practice. Professional psychology, with its scientific methods and systematic inquiry, seeks a deeper, more refined, and often counterintuitive understanding of the mind and behavior. Our journey through psychology's history takes us back even further, to the dawn of civilization, where the philosophical study of what we now call psychology was deeply embedded in the ancient cultures of Egypt, Greece, China, India, and Persia. Imagine the great thinkers of these ancient lands, long before laboratories and experiments, pondering the very same questions that engage us today. What is thought? Where does it reside? What causes suffering? How can we live a good life? In ancient Egypt, for instance, records like the Ebers Papyrus mention phenomena we now recognize as depression and various thought disorders. This suggests an early, albeit nascent, awareness of mental health challenges and an attempt to categorize and understand them within their cultural framework. The ancient Greek philosophers, known for their profound inquiries into the nature of existence, also wrestled with the workings of the mind. Figures like Thales, often considered the first philosopher in the Greek tradition, and later, the Titans Plato and Aristotle, delved deeply into these questions. Aristotle, in particular, in his influential treatise, De Anima, on the soul, explored topics that resonate strongly with modern psychology, examining sensation, perception, memory, and the nature of thought. It was also in ancient Greece, as early as the 4th century BC, that the physician Hippocrates, often regarded as the father of medicine, put forth a revolutionary idea. He theorized that mental disorders had physical rather than supernatural causes. This was a monumental shift in thinking, moving away from attributing mental illness to divine punishment or demonic possession, towards a more naturalistic, observable explanation, a foundational step for future scientific inquiry into the brain and its role in mental health. Plato, in 387 BC, suggested that the brain was where mental processes took place, a remarkably prescient insight given the limited anatomical knowledge of his time. However, the scientific understanding was still in its infancy, and just a few decades later, in 335 BC, Aristotle put forward the idea that it was the heart, rather than the brain, that served as the seat of our mental faculties. This early disagreement highlights the profound challenges inherent in locating and understanding the elusive nature of consciousness and thought. These debates, however, were not in vain. They laid the intellectual groundwork for centuries of further inquiry and observation. Across the globe, in ancient China, the foundations of psychological thought also emerged from the profound philosophical works of thinkers like Laozi, the founder of Taoism, and Confucius, whose ethical and social philosophies shaped Chinese culture for millennia. Their teachings, along with the deep wisdom of Buddhism, which arrived in China from India, offered rich insights into the human condition. This body of knowledge drew extensively from introspection, the quiet practice of looking inward to understand one's own thoughts and feelings. It also relied on astute observation of human behavior and the development of techniques for focused thinking and disciplined behavior, emphasizing harmony, self-cultivation, and the balance of inner and outer worlds. These ancient traditions viewed the universe as comprising a delicate balance, where the individual mind was not separate from the cosmic order, but an integral part of it. The path to wisdom and well-being was seen as a journey of aligning one's inner world with the natural flow of existence, through practices that fostered mental clarity and emotional equilibrium. And so, as we gently draw this exploration to a close for tonight, remember the vastness and the quiet wisdom embedded within the study of psychology. From ancient philosophers pondering the soul to modern scientists unraveling the brain's complexities, the human quest to understand ourselves, our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors is an enduring and deeply meaningful one. May these reflections bring a sense of peace to your mind, a soothing presence as you prepare for a night of deep and restorative sleep. Let the thoughts of the mind's mysteries fade into the gentle rhythm of your breath. Rest now, knowing that this incredible journey of understanding, both within psychology and within your own self, continues, even in your dreams. Sweet dreams, dear listener.